Ever seen anything like this, folks? This guy hires a hitman to take himself out, and get this, it's Joe himself. I mean, this dude's a top-notch assassin, the best in the business. But then, during a routine checkup, he finds out he's got an incurable brain tumor. His time's running out, and he ain't about to spend it in pain and misery. He wants to leave his life insurance money to his girl. Now, if he offed himself, no insurance payout. So, Joe hires a hitman to make it look like a hit. But these guys figure out his plan and about the insurance money. They don't just want Joe dead, they want that cash he's leaving for his girl. So, Joe's gotta fight off a whole army of killers to protect the one he loves. What's gonna happen in this fight to protect his girl? You gotta check out the movie to find out. In a Budapest opera house, Joe's undercover, scoping out his target and the guards. When everyone's seated and the show's about to start, Joe makes his move. He slips upstairs, quiet as a mouse. Meanwhile, a guard finds a shoe behind a curtain and goes to check it out. Joe takes him out with a quick stab to the throat. Joe moves down the hall, guns down the guard at the door. Target sees Joe with a gun and freaks out, offers him triple the cash to call it off. But Joe's a pro and he ain't backing down. He gives the guy a bullet to the head. Joe tells the girl next to him to stay quiet and she bolts. Job done, Joe leaves, but on his way out, a killer headache hits him, makes him dizzy. Just then, a guard finds his boss dead. The guard runs out, bumps into security, and a shootout starts. The guard jumps off the balcony to escape but gets shot down. The gunfire sends the dancers and guests scattering. Maze, the dancer, gets knocked down, loses her phone, and gets trampled. Joe sees it, picks up the phone, and helps Maze get out of the chaos. As soon as he sets her down, his headache comes back. Maze sees he's not doing well and asks her friend for help, but when they get back, Joe's gone, vanished without a trace. Back at his place, Joe finds Maze's phone in his pocket. He sets it aside, grabs some pills and booze, and crashes out. Next day, Joe's at the hospital for a checkup. The doc finds he's had a lot of head injuries, tells him to live healthier, and says the test results will be ready later. Through the hospital, Joe goes to see his boss and friend Zvi. He tells him about his health problems. Zvi tells him to take a break and find someone so he's not so alone. Zvi's advice sends Joe to the dance studio to return Maze's phone. She's grateful for his help and gives him her number. Joe throws it in the trash but then has a change of heart and picks it back up. He texts her, asks her out. They have a great date, real romantic and fun. But Joe never tells her what he really does for a living. Days go by, Joe's always at Maze's door with flowers. His job's dangerous, but he always makes time for her, and he's killing it as a hitman all over the world. Joe and Maze are getting serious, real happy. But those headaches, like someone's driving a nail through his brain, they're killing him. Pills ain't working like they used to. Then the test results come in and the doc's got bad news, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, a brain degenerative disorder. And it's incurable. Joe's got maybe 3 months left. He turns down the doc's offer to prolong his life, goes home hoping to find a cure. He watches videos, sees it's true, there's no cure. His hope's gone. He looks at pics of him and Maze, grabs his gun, ready to end it all. But then he thinks of Maze. Joe opens a secret safe, grabs all the cash and weapons, and throws the guns in the river. Next day, Joe takes the $2 million to Zvi, says he wants to hire a hitman to kill him. He was gonna do it himself, but the life insurance won't pay out for suicide. He wants Maze to get the money. But Zvi's Joe's friend tells him to think it over, won't take the job no matter the money. Joe don't give up, goes to another assassin group, Antoinette's crew. She's cold, ruthless, used to be a hitman herself, now she's the boss. Her bodyguard, Mark, he's a killer too, real brutal. Antoinette's got a grudge against Joe, he killed her dad who used to be his mentor. So this is her chance for revenge. But Joe's got unfinished business, so he makes a deal. The hit goes down at midnight. After Joe leaves, Antoinette rounds up some killers. First, she calls Love Doll. He's in Switzerland doing a hit, but he turns down the Joe job, says $2 million ain't worth the risk. Next, she messages Goyang and his gang. They're in Prague, been laying low, but now they're back, killing their target in seconds. Goyang's happy to take the Joe job. Just to be sure, Antoinette sends the hit contract to the Langos brothers. They're executing a guy by tying him to 2 motorcycles and ripping him apart. That night, Joe meets Maze, but Antoinette's bodyguard Mackin is watching them. Joe finally breaks up with Maze. She's heartbroken, gives him a goodbye kiss. Joe goes home, waiting for death. But before it comes, he tells Maze he's got an incurable disease. Just then, he gets a message from the doc. The test results were wrong. He's fine, no disease. Midnight hits. The killers are at his place. Joe ain't waiting to die. He sets up traps, waits for the killers. They're smart, use smoke to find the laser sensors, get inside easy. Joe tries to explain it's all a misunderstanding. He wants to call off the hit. But Gwing says he's gotta honor the contract. A guy in red follows the voice, goes into the bathroom where Joe's waiting. Joe throws him through the glass. Then, a female killer with an axe attacks, but Joe slams her head down, chokes her with the broken glass. Killers see their guys are dead, but they still want a one-on-one fight. But Joe's too strong for them. Gwing steps in, but Joe stabs him in the head. Joe don't want to kill them all, but they ain't letting up. Joe calls Antoinette, says he wants to cancel the contract, he'll pay the penalty. But she wants revenge, doubles the bounty. Joe smashes his phone. Then, the Langos brothers show up. Joe's worried about Maze, sends her a ton of cash, tells her to get out of town, he'll meet her later. Joe leads the Langos brothers to a warehouse. They attack with motorcycles. Joe dodges some hits, but they're too fast, keep knocking him down. Then, Joe finds a metal bar, and when one of the brothers comes at him, he smashes his head, knocks him off his bike, and finishes him off. The other brother's mad, speeds at Joe, but Joe kicks the front wheel, sends him flying, dead on impact. Joe takes his bike and rides off. Antoinette hears the hit failed, sends the job to top assassins. Lovedale's still in Switzerland having fun, but when he sees the bounties doubled, he takes the job. In Scotland, the Mackenzie brothers agree and celebrate by smashing beer bottles on their heads. In a club in England, the party girls are stripping, but they're killers and they take out all the customers with hidden weapons. In Spain, some crooks are dealing drugs, but Botus shows up, uses his moves and hidden daggers to kill everyone in style. Joe, all beat up, goes to Zvi's place. Turns out, since he met Maze, he's been thinking about retiring, threw all his guns in the river. But Zvi's out of the game too. He can only give Joe some leftover explosives. Zvi's wife helps out, gives Joe a massage, and his headache goes away. Lovedale gets to Budapest. Antoinette gives him all the info on Joe, including his girl's location. Antoinette sends her cousin Tony to pick up Lovedale. Tony's a bit of a goofball, but Antoinette promised her uncle she'd train him to be a killer. Tony and Lovedale go to Maze's building and wait for her. When she comes out, she kicks Tony down, but Lovedale knocks her out and kidnaps her. Joe don't know about this yet. He knows if he takes out these top killers, the others will back off. For $4 million, the killers are coming towards him. He decides to go to an abandoned castle, set up an ambush, and wait for them. Soon, the Mackenzie brothers arrive first. They enter the castle and Joe throws a flashbang at them. While they're still disoriented, Joe attacks. But these guys are tough, they work together real well and Joe's having a hard time. Joe grabs an iron gauntlet and uses it as a weapon. His punches are stronger with the metal. But 2 against 1, he gets knocked down. Then, the brothers start arguing after that last kick. Joe sees his chance, triggers his trap, a chandelier falls, one brother gets stabbed by a deer head. Joe grabs a deer antler and fights the other one, finishes him off. Suddenly, the party girls burst in, guns blazing. Joe falls back. When the woman gets up to kill him, she steps on a mine, blows up. Joe grabs her, throws her into a corner and sets off a grenade. Botus is waiting for Joe outside, takes his weapons easy. Then he puts on his headphones, fights with the music. He's a dangerous assassin, just as good as Joe. They wrestle all over the room. Punches ain't working, so they go for swords. For a few minutes, Joe disarms him, but Botus cheats, pulls out a gun. Joe hides behind a table, triggers another trap, blows Botus away, leaves only his shoes. Side Lovedale arrives. He knows it's a trap when he sees the other killer's rides. Lovedale tells Tony to watch Maze, he's going in to check things out. As soon as Lovedale leaves, Maze says she needs to stretch her legs, tricks Tony into letting her out. She pretends to fall, grabs a branch, and knocks out Tony. Joe gets a call from Maze, but it's Lovedale on the other end. He says he'll trade a life for a life, he'll let Maze go if Joe gives himself up. But before Joe can answer, a bunch of mercenaries show up, Antoinette's bodyguard, Mark, and his crew. They're here to take out Joe themselves. They attack from 2 sides. When Mark enters, the place is wrecked, looks like the other assassins didn't make it. Joe hides in the shadows, sets off a bomb, takes out half the crew. Then he sneaks around, stabs a guy, takes his gun, and uses it to kill the rest in the castle. When Joe gets out, Lovedall's waiting for him. Lovedall says he's got Maze, so Joe drops his weapons. He just wants to see Maze alive. Lovedall calls Tony, but then Maze drives up, hits Lovedall with the car, opens the door for Joe, and they escape together. While they're running, Joe finally tells her the truth. He's a hitman and he got the wrong diagnosis. He says he was planning to retire. Maze forgives him. But then she collapses. Joe stops the car, finds a bullet wound on her shoulder. He leaves the car, carries her to a church. Luckily, the bullet just grazed her and she wakes up. Joe's so happy he proposes and she says yes. The priest says he'll marry them if Joe confesses his sins. But when he hears Joe's confessions, all those hits, he's shocked. But when he sees Joe wants to change, be a dad, the priest gives him absolution, as long as he quits the business. The simple ceremony starts, and Joe uses a grenade pin as a wedding ring. Lovedall shows up, guns blazing. But then, a grenade falls at his feet. Mark wants to kill Joe himself, take all the money. Lovedall's mad, sides with Joe. Grenades keep falling, blow up, start a fire. Lovedall fights Mark hand-to-hand. Mark throws another grenade, the scaffolding falls, kills Lovedall. But Joe's behind Mark, guns him down. They both have guns on each other. Joe realizes he's out of ammo. Mark's happy, thinks he's won, but then Maze shoots him from afar. At Antoinette's place, she hears the hit failed, packs up to leave. But Zvi gets there first. Price for failing the contract is death. Lovedall survives because he sided with Joe. After all that, Joe leaves the hitman life, becomes a good father. He and Maze have a big wedding, live happily ever after, no more worries. And that's the end of the video. If you liked it, give me a like and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. See ya!